Hello, passionate Celtic FC fans. This is Celtic Central News, your exclusive source for Celtic updates. Before we kick off, we appreciate the incredible support. If you love Celtic, subscribe now, hit like, and let's build this community together. Now, on to the latest news. A warm welcome to new subscribers. Your support is crucial. Hail! Hail! There's been a wild whisper swirling through the pubs, fan groups, and late-night football chats across Glasgow, and honestly, the buzz is getting louder by the hour. Folks are saying that David Beckham himself, that Beckham, the global icon with one foot in fashion, another in business, and a mind that never seems to stop plotting his next empire, is eyeing a shock move to buy Celtic Football Club. It started as a tiny murmur, the sort of thing you'd expect to hear from a mate who knows a guy who knows a guy, but suddenly it's everywhere. People are asking whether the former England captain, now deep in the football ownership world with Inter Miami, could really be trying to plant his flag in Scotland, and not just anywhere in Scotland, but right in the green heart of Parkhead, in a club that has history dripping from every brick and rivalry written in every blade of grass. Imagine Beckham walking through the Celtic corridors, shaking hands with legends on the walls, studying the trophies that have shaped generations. It sounds unreal, but the rumor only grows stronger as if the city itself is daring it to be true. The chatter is that Beckham has always admired the Celtic faithful, that he's been fascinated by the raw, thunderous sound of paradise on a big European night, that famous swell of the anthem echoing around the stadium like a living heartbeat. Some say he's been quietly digging into financial reports, ownership structures, and future projections, wanting to understand exactly how Celtic could fit into his growing network of global football influence. Others claim he's been seen meeting people connected to Scottish football, slipping into private dinners tucked away in quiet corners of Edinburgh and Glasgow, trying to keep things discreet while the rumour mill spins out of control. Supporters are split between disbelief and sheer excitement, imagining how Beckham's global brand, star-studded connections and business savvy could lift Celtic into an even brighter international spotlight. Could Celtic become the next club to join his football empire? Could Beckham be preparing to reshape Scottish football with the same boldness he used to shake up MLS? Nobody knows for sure, but the suspense alone has been enough to electrify the fan base. And then there are the whispers from down south claiming that Beckham isn't just casually browsing or testing the waters. He's allegedly been in direct conversations with high-profile investors who see Celtic as a sleeping giant on the global market. They're talking about expanding commercial partnerships, upgrading facilities, strengthening global outreach, and pushing Celtic even deeper into the international football conversation. Some say Beckham feels Scotland is ripe for breakthrough growth, with Celtic positioned as the ideal club to evolve from a massive cultural institution into a worldwide powerhouse under fresh, modernized leadership. The thought alone has supporters dreaming of big-name collaborations, marketing strategies that stretch from Glasgow to Los Angeles, and maybe even superstar footballers feeling newly tempted to consider Celtic Park as a serious destination. But of course, behind every rumor, there's someone ready to pour out cold water on the excitement, warning fans not to get swept up in fantasy. After all, Celtic is owned by a deeply rooted structure, and buying in or taking over is no small task. Still, the fact that people are even entertaining the thought shows how magnetic Beckham's name truly is. At the same time, Glasgow has been buzzing with speculation about what this would mean for the old firm rivalry. That's the sort of storyline that sends shockwaves through the football universe. Rangers fans are already joking, sometimes nervously, about the idea of their eternal rival gaining a global superstar as an owner. Others are scoffing at it, convinced it's nothing but media noise, fuel for gossip and late-night radio debates. Yet some can't help but picture it. Beckham arriving in Scotland, cameras flashing, global media descending on Glasgow, the city suddenly becoming the centre of the football world. The rivalry is already fierce, but Beckham stepping into the Celtic equation would add a layer of glamour, tension, and international attention unlike anything seen before. And whether you're green or blue, you know fine well that Scottish football thrives on big stories, big moments, and big personalities. Beckham would bring all three in overwhelming measure. The mere idea has people replaying it in their minds, wondering how much of this is smoke and how much is the spark of something that could genuinely catch fire. Meanwhile, some insiders close to the Celtic community have been speculating that the timing of these rumors isn't random. With the global football market evolving rapidly, clubs across Europe are looking for ways to adapt, modernize, and increase their influence. Celtic, with its massive fan base and international reach, sits perfectly positioned to attract a figure like Beckham, someone who understands both the footballing heart and the business brain of modern sport. The rumor suggests he sees Celtic as a club with tradition, strong enough to anchor his vision, yet flexible enough to grow into new markets. Imagine Celtic merchandise reaching storefronts in Miami, Tokyo, Dubai, places where Beckham's name already carries enormous weight. Some supporters are already picturing tours, partnerships, international academies, and even cross-club collaborations linking Inter Miami and Celtic in ways that could shape the future of football culture. Whether any of this is real or simply fantasy built on whispers, the excitement is undeniably real. Of course, the biggest question floating through all of this is, what does Beckham actually gain? After all, he's already got Inter Miami, a rising MLS brand, and a football project that's capturing global attention. But some say that's exactly why Celtic makes sense. Beckham has always been a man who operates on ambition, massive ambition, and owning a historic European club would cement his status in a way that MLS alone never could. Celtic offers European nights, legendary derbies, century-deep heritage, and a fan base unlike any other. It would be the kind of move that blends business with legacy, passion with strategy. The rumor insists he wants a foothold in European football that carries emotional weight, something meaningful enough to challenge him and iconic enough to elevate his brand even further. Whether that's genuinely his aim or just wishful thinking from a fan base hungry for a new chapter, nobody knows. But until the truth comes out, the rumor itself is more than enough to keep Scotland talking. The rumor picked up even more momentum when a few sharp-eyed supporters claimed they spotted Beckham's longtime advisors visiting Glasgow in what looked like discreet business trips. One was allegedly seen near Celtic Park itself, walking calmly along Kerrydale Street as if taking in the atmosphere, absorbing the surroundings and checking the pulse of the place. It didn't take long for social media to erupt, people posting blurry photos and drawing wild conclusions from shadows and silhouettes. Some fans insisted it was all nonsense, nothing but a lookalike strolling around. But others swore that if you listened closely, if you paid attention to the shifts behind the scenes, you could sense something brewing. They argued that Beckham never does anything without a plan, and if whispers of meetings, investments, and strategic visits are all surfacing at the same time, then perhaps, just perhaps, there's more truth to this than anyone first realized. Glasgow thrives on mystery, on stories that start as sparks and turn into full-fledged fires, and this rumor has lit the city up like a torch. Everywhere you go, from taxi rides to coffee shops, someone is discussing whether Beckham is preparing to shock the football world once again. Another stirring point came when former players and pundits began dropping vague comments on television and radio, the kind that make you sit up and listen. One hinted that a global figure had been sniffing around Scottish football with serious intent. Another mentioned that Celtic's international brand had been drawing unprecedented interest. None of them said Beckham's name directly, but the moment the hints were dropped, the rumor exploded with fresh life. That's how speculation works in Scotland. You give people an inch, and the imagination runs a marathon. Some supporters began wondering what Beckham's involvement could mean on the pitch, dreaming of marquee signings, stronger financial backing, and a team built to dominate domestically and genuinely compete in Europe. The thought alone sent shivers down people's spines because if there's one thing Celtic fans crave, it's seeing the club shine brightly on the biggest stage once more. Whether or not any of this comes to pass, of the idea of Beckham pulling the strings behind the scenes creates a buzz unlike anything the Scottish game has felt in years. Yet there's a quieter side to the rumour too, the part whispered more softly among older supporters who've seen decades of change come and go. They wonder whether a figure like Beckham could truly understand the soul of Celtic, the community, the identity, the emotional weight carried by every match day. They talk about how Celtic is more than a business venture, more than a badge or stadium. It's a living history, one built on working-class roots, cultural pride, and the fierce loyalty of generations. Could Beckham honor that? Could he respect the traditions and values while still bringing new ideas and modern ambition? Some say he absolutely could, Yandu. After all, he's always been a student of football culture, a man who respects heritage even while embracing progress. Others remain skeptical, worried that celebrity ownership would turn Celtic into a flashy brand rather than a football family. But even those who doubt the rumor can't deny its grip. There's something intoxicating about imagining Beckham, quiet and respectful, walking through the corridors of Celtic Park, taking in the photos, learning the stories, understanding the weight of the crest. Whether fantasy or future, it's a powerful picture. Meanwhile, the business angle has its own set of murmurs. Investors allegedly connected to Beckham's network have been eyeing Celtic for years, seeing the club as undervalued in the global market compared to its massive cultural presence. They believe Celtic could explode commercially with the right leadership, tapping into new revenue streams, digital expansion, international fan engagement, and fresh sponsorship deals that stretch far beyond the UK. Some say Beckham could be the perfect bridge between tradition and globalization, using his influence to raise Celtic's profile without stripping away its core identity. It's the sort of strategy that could reshape the club's future entirely, turning it into a powerhouse both on and off the pitch. Critics argue that such changes could risk diluting Celtic's spirit, but supporters who dream big see no harm in imagining a world where Celtic becomes one of the most recognizable football brands on the planet. They picture Beckham lending his name his network, and his experience to elevate the club into a new era of opportunity. Whether or not he ever puts pen to paper, the rumor alone is enough to spark visions of transformation. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. As the speculation spreads, international media have begun sniffing around too, picking up fragments of the story and spinning their own interpretations. Some outlets describe it as a shock possibility. Others treat it as early-stage interest, while a few label it outright fantasy. But even the act of reporting on it adds fuel to the fire. Every article, every tweet, every late-night discussion becomes another tiny nudge, pushing the rumor further into public consciousness. Some Celtic supporters feel caught somewhere between hope and caution, wanting to believe something massive is on the horizon, but knowing full well how rumors can run wild. Yet it's hard not to feel energized. Beckham's name carries global magnetism, and the idea that he could choose Celtic as his next football chapter gives fans a sense of pride, as if the world might finally recognize the scale and beauty of the club they already adore. Even if the rumor fades, it's already united supporters in excitement, debate, and imagination. And so the city waits, half laughing it off and half praying it might be true. Glasgow is a place where football stories grow legs of their own, where rumors can feel as real as reality for a while. Beckham buying Celtic might turn out to be nothing more than whispered fantasy, a burst of excitement to warm the cold Scottish evenings, or just maybe it could be the start of something that changes the club forever. That's the magic of football, the unknown, the thrilling uncertainty, the possibility that tomorrow could bring a headline that shakes the world. For now, the rumor drifts through the streets like smoke, curling into conversations, slipping into dreams, and igniting imaginations. Whether Beckham is truly preparing to make a move, or whether the city simply wants to believe in a fairy tale, the buzz isn't fading anytime soon. And until the truth emerges, fans everywhere will keep wondering, whispering, and watching for the next sign that the impossible might just become real. There are even rumors that this transfer could influence broader European ambitions for Celtic, with insiders suggesting that acquiring a player of Tavernier's caliber sends a message about the club's intent to compete not just domestically but internationally. Discussions in coaching circles reportedly focus on how his leadership and tactical intelligence could be leveraged to prepare the squad for high-stakes matches in continental competitions. Meanwhile, Rangers are said to be entering a period of introspection, with internal debates about squad cohesion, player loyalty, and the implications of losing a figure so central to their identity. Fans are theorizing endlessly about Tavernier's role in upcoming Old Firm encounters, imagining scenarios where his presence could shift momentum, demoralize opponents, and redefine the narrative of rivalry itself. Social media platforms are described as exploding, with every post dissected for hidden hints, every picture scrutinized, and every comment debated in exhaustive detail. Pundits suggest that this move, if confirmed, represents a masterstroke of strategic thinking, a blend of tactical, psychological, and cultural warfare that could shift the balance of power in Glasgow. Every rumor, every report, and every insider account contributes to a sense of anticipation bordering on hysteria, ensuring that Celtic and Rangers supporters alike are living and breathing this story with an intensity rarely seen in modern football. The implications stretch far beyond a single player, touching on identity, legacy, and the intricate web of competition, history, and ambition that defines Scottish football. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.